I can't. Okay, here we go. All right, welcome back to Jammin' Sports, everybody, as we're getting set for our next baseball game. It's going to be Game 2 of the National League Division Series between the Miami Marlins and the San Diego Padres. The Padres took Game 1 the other day by a final score of 4-2. They have a 1-0 lead in the series. We'll see if the Marlins can even up the series. If you're watching on YouTube, please follow, like, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. All right. Let's head out to what was once known as Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami for this one, here at Jammin' Sports. I hit the wrong button. Your lineups for today. Jammin' Sports presents Game 2 of the National League Division Series between the San Diego Padres and the Miami Marlins. Live from Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami, Florida. Padres lead the series 1-0. Starting pitcher for the Marlins here in Game 2, Jose Fernandez. Marlins hoping to tie the series up as the Padres took Game 1, 4-2. That was back on Saturday, I believe. Leading things off, the shortstop, Fernando Tatis. And Game 2 is underway. Big swing and a miss, strike one. Count goes to 0-1. The Marlins are the number 2 seed in the National League. They won the National League East. The Padres were a wild card, are a wild card. They swept the Reds in the wild card round. Next pitch, a strike. Count goes to 0-2 to Tatis. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Struck him out on 3 pitches. One down for the Padres. Here in the top of the first. Next up, Benito Santiago. He's the third baseman today. Hits one out to right field. Rap Dixon makes the play for out number 2. 2 down for the Padres. There's their lineup. First baseman Sadahara O will come up next. Yeah, that was a major loss. What might have been. He was a great player. And now Fernando's facing Sadahara O. Inside, count goes to 1-0. Again, what might have been a tragedy. Self-inflicted tragedy, though. Those are the worst kind. Here's the 1-0. In there for a strike. Evens the count at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs, bases empty. And now the 1-1 pitch. Oh, fouls it off. Counts at 1-2. One-two pitch. And that's going to be a base hit. Maybe. No, it's fielded by the left fielder, Vic Harris. It's a 1-2-3 inning. No scores. We go to the bottom of the first. NLDS Game 2 here at Jammin' Sports. On the mound for the Padres, Jake Peavy, the starting pitcher. I think I messed up on the uniforms. They have blue socks, but oh well. I'm not going to start it over. We'll just live with it. Rap Dixon, the right fielder. Maybe Evil Day can tell us about Rap. He'll lead things off for the Marlins here in the bottom of the first. Marlins trying to tie up the series with a win here today. Here's the pitch by Peavy. Down low, count goes to 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch. And that's a high fly ball into right field, but it goes into the bullpen near the pool over there. And the count's at 1-1. We're in the bottom of the first, no score. It counts 1-1. Here's the pitch by Peavy. Inside, 2-1. The Padres lead this best-of-5 series 1-0. Thank you, Evil Dead. Rat played from 24 to 37. Counts 2-2 to Dixon. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball. Tatis knocks it down. They're going to call it a base hit. A leadoff single for the Marlins. And now Edgar Renteria comes up. Renteria, a base hit. And now the Marlins with back-to-back hits. They have, and Dixon hands over the third. The Marlins with back-to-back singles and now have runners at first and third with nobody out here in the top of the first. Well, for what I've seen, Evil Dead, the lineup for the Marlins and the Padres is the same as game number 1, which we played when? Back on Saturday? And now John Beckwith, the first baseman, comes up. No outs, runners at first and third. Beckwith, if I'm not mistaken, well, I don't know when he played. And now the 1-0 pitch. Up high, 2-0 to Beckwith. It might be the case, but I've not had to fill out anything new on my lineups. 2-0 pitch. Beckwith, high fly ball into right center field. Off the wall, that's going to score 2 runs. And the Marlins take a 2-0 lead. 20-35. Thank you, Evil Dead. A 2 RBI double for Beckwith, the first baseman. And the Marlins lead it 2-0. And now the pitch by Peavy. Outside, ball one. Count goes to 1-0. So the Marlins take a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. There's still nobody out. And they have a runner at second base. Peavy getting slammed early for the Padres. Here's the 1-0. In there for a strike, 1-1. One pitch. Down the line, another base hit. And that's going to score Beckwith, I'm sure. Winfield will throw it in. And it's 3-0 Marlins. Heavy Johnson is up next. Actually, it was Heavy Johnson that made the hit there. I'm sorry. And now Howard Easterling comes up, the center fielder. Still nobody out. 3-0 Marlins with the runner on first. In there for a strike, 0-1. Easterling. Is he a historic player too? Judging by his socks, he looks to be. Here's the 0-1. Outside, 1-1. Heavy Johnson at first base. Easterling at the plate. Counts 1-1. Nobody out. Runner on first. 3-0 Marlins here in the bottom of the first. 1-1 pitch. Did it go around? Yes. Count goes to 1-2. One-two pitch. Inside, 2-2. Still nobody out for the Marlins here in the bottom of the first. They already lead it 3-0. Pitch by Peavy. Swung and struck him out for out number one. Finally one down for the Marlins.
Batting six, the left fielder, Vic Harris.
And now the left fielder, Vic Harris, will come up. The Marlins have a lot of Negro League players on them, as do the Diamondbacks, we noticed. Thank you, Evil Dead, 37-46. And now Vic Harris comes up, the left fielder. A pitch out. Johnson does not go. I'm pretty sure Harris is another Negro League player. Counts 1-0 to Harris. One out, runner on first. Here's the 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-1. All right, a shot of somebody's shorts. Interesting shot. And now the 1-1 pitch. They throw to first. Johnson's back in time. One pitch. Fouls it off. All right. Thank you, Evil Dead. Counts 1-2 to Vic Harris. Fouls it off. Count remains at 1-2. Well, at home because it's cold there too in New York. Struck him out looking for out number 2. And Harris isn't happy about that one.
Batting seven, the second baseman, Lorenzo.
And now Piper Davis comes up, the second baseman. And Davis fouls it off down the line. The count goes to 0-1. Piper Davis, I'm sure, another old-timer. Judging by the socks, you can always tell. The 0-1, a pitch out. But Johnson doesn't go. He stays at first base. 3-0 Marlins here in the bottom of the first. Davis at the plate. Counts at 1-1. Thank you there, Evil Dead. And that's fouled off down the line. The count goes to 1-2. One-two pitch.
2-2.
Outside, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on first. 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off down the line. Count remains at 2-2. Well, we'll find out in the days to come if the rosters change any. Here's the 2-2. Rips it foul. Count remains at 2-2 to Piper Davis. Two-two pitch. Swung and struck him out. At the end of 1 complete, the Marlins lead it 3-0 here in NLDS Game 2 here at Jammin' Sports. Welcome back to Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami, Florida. We go to the top of the second. George Scales will lead things off for the Padres, the second baseman. Inside, 1-0. Jose Fernandez on the mound for the Marlins here in the top of the second. He went around. They'll even the count at 1-1. I know that Scales is another one of the Negro League players, but he was on the roster when the Padres beat the Reds in the wild card. Down the line, foul. Count goes to 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Up high, 2-2. Yeah, like when they all wore 42 on Jackie Robinson Day. Marlins trying to even the series at 1-1. The Padres won game 1, 4-2. That was Saturday night. Outside, 3-2, full count now. And Scales blasts one to first. Beckwith makes the play for the out. One down for the Padres here in the top of the second. The catcher now, Luke Easter, comes up. The pitch by Fernandez. In there for a strike, 0-1. I don't remember Luke Easter. Is he a current player? He's got the stirrup socks. That is an indication that he's a more recent player. Here's the 0-1. In their first strike, quickly 0-2 to Easter. 0-2 pitch. Easter pops it up, fouls it off, remains 0-2. Oh-2 pitch. Easter strikes out swinging for out number 2. 2 down for the Padres here in the top of the second. And now the left fielder, Phil Nevin, comes up. Nevin fouls it off. Count goes to 0-1. Two outs, bases empty for San Diego. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Did he go around? Yes. Count goes to 0-2. 0-2 pitch. High in the air, out to right center field, going back. And making the play, the center fielder, Howard Easterling. And that'll end the inning. Marlins lead it 3-0. NLDS Game 2 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the second. Jazz Chisholm. He's a current player. I know him. I know Jazz. Against Jake Peavy. Here's the pitch by Peavy. And Chisholm grounds out to first. Sadahara O making the play for the Padres.
Batting ninth, the shortstop, number 5.
Next up, the shortstop for the Marlins. That's Hanley Ramirez. One out, bases empty. Ramirez comes up. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. Oh, 0-1 pitch. A ground ball into center field. A base hit for Ramirez. A 1-out single here in the bottom of the second. And next up, Rap Dixon, the right fielder for the Marlins. 3-0. Marlins up here in the bottom of the second with one out with a runner on first. Dixon at the plate. The pitch. Down low, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. Fouls it off. Count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, runner on first. 1-1 pitch. No. Outside, 2-1. Two-one pitch. And that's a ground or a base hit. Winfield will throw it in from right field. Back-to-back singles for the Marlins, and now they have runners at first and second with 1 out. And now Edgar Renteria, the third baseman, comes up. First pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch. Renteria, a shot out to center field. Merrill going back. Merrill makes the play on the warning track. And the runner on second advances to third base. So now with 2 outs, there's runners at first and third. Nice play by Merrill, tracking it down in center field there. Jackson Merrill. That would have been at least 2 runs. And now John Beckwith, the first baseman, comes up with 2 outs. Runners at first and third. In there for a strike, 0-1. Peavy looks in. Counts 0-1. Here's the pitch.
Nope, that's high.
Up high. That'll leave the count at 1-1. 1-1 pitch. A ground ball to Tatis. And they get the lead runner for the final out. At the end of 2 complete, the Marlins lead at 3-0 here in Game 2 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. Welcome back to Joe Robbie Stadium on this MLK Day. Adrian Gonzalez will lead things off for the Padres. He's the DH today. It's up high, 1-0. Jose Fernandez still on the mound for the Marlins. They lead at 3-0. We're in the top of the third. Here's the pitch. Fouls it off. The count goes to 1-1. And now the 1-1 pitch. A ground ball down the line, but foul. And the count goes to 1-2. One-two pitch. Inside, 2-2. They got NFL action later today at 7 o'clock Eastern. It'll be the Rams and the Saints. High in the air. Rap Dixon in right field makes the play for out number 1. One down for the Padres here in the top of the third. Dave Winfield, the right fielder, comes up. He's a Hall of Famer, I do believe. Played for the Padres and the Yankees. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. 1 out, bases empty for the Padres here in the top of the third. The pitch by Fernandez. And that's fouled off into the bullpen. And the count's 0-2. Oh-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 0-2. 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Remains 0-2. One out, bases empty. The pitch by Fernandez. Big swing and a miss. And Winfield will strike out. 2 down for the Padres here at the top of the third. And now the center fielder, Jackson Merrill, comes up. In their first strike, 0-1. Oh, 0-1 pitch. That's going to be a base hit up the middle. A 2-out single for Merrill. That'll keep the inning alive for the Padres.
Up next for the Padres, the shortstop.
We go to the top of the order. Tatis will come up. Fernando Tatis. 2 outs, runner on first. Marlins up 3-0 here in the top of the third. Here's the pitch. Outside, 1-0. The count's 1-0 to Tatis. Here's the pitch. Outside, 2-0. Misty was showing me something from 4 years ago when I was doing this. Oh. That reminds me, we're coming up on our 5th anniversary here at Jammin' Sports next month. 2-0 pitch. Up high, 3-0. February 10th is our 5-year anniversary. In there for a strike, 3-1 to Tatis. He covered a lot of ground in 5 years. Here's the 3-1. Ball 4. It'll be a walk, a 2-out walk. All this happening with 2 outs. Padres have runners at first and second. And now Benito Santiago, the third baseman. Actually, yeah, he's the third baseman today. First pitch, swung on for a strike, 0-1. When did it wasn't right away. Davis was with me right away, but I think you were about 6 to 7 months down the line. Here's the 0-1. In there for a strike, 0-2. I was on sim season 26 with the NFL, and you were on board for that Super Bowl. I remember that. 1-2, the count to Santiago. Is probably, yeah, probably. Inside, the count goes to 2-2 to Santiago. Probably, I think you came on board about maybe 3 months after I started. It's popped up. Beckwith at first will make the play for the out, and that'll end the inning. Marlins lead at 3-0. Game 2 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Heavy Johnson will lead things off for the Marlins. The catcher. Here's the pitch. Down low, ball 1. I'm thinking, Evil Dead, you came on board probably about 3 to 4 months after I started. So, yeah, probably around May of that year. Here's the pitch. Inside, 2-0. We started Jammin' Sports during the pandemic. It was in February of 2020. 3-0 is now the count to Johnson. Thank you, Evil Dead. Johnson 20-35. 3-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 3-1. Well, he's a stout individual. Here's the 3-1.
Take you, mate.
Ball 4, a leadoff walk for the Marlins. Here in the bottom of the third, Peavy gives up a walk.
Leading off for the Marlins.
And now the center fielder, Howard Easterling, comes up. Nobody out, runner on first. The pitch, down low, 1-0. Marlins lead it 3-0, bottom of the third. Here's the pitch. Outside, 2-0 to Easterling. Wow, 370? That's outstanding. Yeah, that's heavy. The 2-0 pitch. Shot right to Scales. They'll throw to Tatis and down to O for the double play. Easterling grounds out into a double play. 2 down from the Marlins now here in the bottom of the third. And Vic Harris comes up next, the left fielder. Fouls it off down the line. Count goes to 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch coming up by Peavy. In their first strike, 0-2. Misty, what day of the week is February 10th? Here's the 0-2. Down low, 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And that'll end the inning. At the end of 3 complete, the Marlins lead at 3-0. NLDS Game 2 here at Jammin' Sports. It's a Wednesday? Oh, February 10th.
Leading off for San Diego, the first baseman.
Sadahara O will come up. The first base, it's a Monday. Thank you, Evil Dead. The pitch by Fernandez in there for a strike, 0-1. Hopefully I won't have a basketball game on the radio that day. Swung on an inside pitch. Count goes to 0-2. Oh-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 0-2. I do have basketball this Saturday. We have games next Saturday night. Up high, 1-2. And I have basketball tomorrow night if they don't get canceled or postponed. 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. I have to fill in and actually be courtside tomorrow night. Smith County taking on Jackson County tomorrow. It's always fun when I get to go do the games. Here's the 2-2. Popped up. Third baseman gets under it, and that's Edgar Renteria for the out. 1 down for the Padres here in the top of the fourth as O flies out to third, or pops out to third. George Scales, the second baseman, comes up next for the Padres. Marlins lead at 3-0 here in the top of the fourth. Fernandez. And that's ripped right to Renteria. He'll throw to first for the out. 2 down quickly for the Padres here in the top of the fourth. And now the catcher, Luke Easter, will come up. The pitch. He swung on an inside pitch, 0-1. Fernando getting them with those inside pitches. Here's the 0-1. Fouls it off quickly, 0-2 to Easter. And now the 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off again. Count remains 0-2. Games 3 and 4 will be in San Diego. Game 5, if necessary, back here in Miami. Here's the 0-2. Down low in the dirt, 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Down low, 2-2 to Luke Easter. Marlins lead at 3-0 here in the top of the fourth. 2-2 pitch. And that's foul. Well, there's already been a roughing the passer penalty on Mahomes against the Bills already. 6 days away, we've got one. All right. 2-2 pitch. So that means the Chiefs will be kicking off from the 50-yard line. I got it. NFL's rigged these days. Popped up. Who wants to make the play? The second baseman does. Piper Davis. And that'll end the inning. Marlins lead at 3-0. NLDS Game 2 here at Jammin' Sports. Piper Davis will lead things off for the Marlins, the second baseman, facing Jake Peavy. In there, outside, 1-0. I sure hope the Bills beat them Sunday. I really do. I don't care who wins the NFC. I really don't. Here's the 1-0 up high, 2-0. I just don't want the Chiefs to get there. 2-0 pitch. Ripped into the camera well. And the count goes to 2-1 to Piper Davis. Nobody out, nobody on. 2-1 pitch. Fouls it off. Count goes to 2-2. Two-two pitch. Outside, 3-2. Full count now to Piper Davis, the second baseman. 3-2 pitch. And that's fouled off down the first base line. Count remains full to Davis. We're in the bottom of the fourth. Marlins up 3-0. Trying to tie the series up at a game apiece if they win today. Fouls it off. Count remains at 3-2. Three-two pitch. Down low, ball 4. A leadoff walk for the Marlins here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Nobody out, runner on first. Jazz Chisholm comes up. Trying to figure out where he's playing today. He's the DH. Outside, 1-0.
1-0.
Yeah, he's not my favorite player. Counts at 1-0. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. They'll even the count at 1-1. The cameraman likes that girl right there for some reason. That's the second time he's shown her. They throw to first. Not in time. Davis back in time. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth. They have a runner on first. The count to Chisholm is 1-1. Fouls that one off. The count goes to 1-2. One-two pitch. Inside, 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. Down low and inside, 3-2, full count. Our dachshund has a bone, and the cats are nearby, and she thinks the cats want her bone. They don't. 3-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count goes to 3-2. Count remains full to Chisholm. 3-2 pitch. Fouls it off again. He stays alive at the plate. I like the Marlins' older uniforms better than their new ones. These look better. I like the pinstripes. Here's the 3-2. Fouled off. Stays alive. Count remains at 3-2. Yeah, they are sharp. 3-2 pitch. It's a ground ball. They're going to turn two. There's one. No, he's safe. Chisholm's safe at first. They only get the lead runner. So one down from the Marlins as Davis gets picked off at second. Hanley Ramirez comes up next. He's the shortstop. One down for the Marlins here at the bottom of the fourth. They have a runner on first. Chisholm at first base. It's in there for a strike, 0-1. I must have read Evil Dead's mind again. Chisholm back in time? Barely. And now the 0-1. It's in there for a strike, 0-2. 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 0-2. It is a bright, sunny day here in Nashville today, but the temperature outside is like 18 degrees. Here's the 0-2. A ground ball to Tatis. They'll get the lead runner, and they get the double play. At the end of 4 complete, Marlins lead at 3-0. Game 2 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 5th here in Game 2. The left fielder, Phil Nevin, comes up. The Padres lead the best-of-5 series 1-0. Marlins trying to tie the series up at a game apiece. Fernandez on the mound. Here's the pitch. Up high, 1-0. 1-0 pitch. Down low, 2-0. And now the 2-0 pitch. Inside, 3-0. In there for a strike, 3-1. 3-1 pitch. Ripped into left center field. It's going to be a base hit for Nevin. He's going for 2.
He's in there.
And it's a leadoff double by Phil Nevin for the Padres. Here in the top of the 5th. San Diego trying to get back in this game. Down 3-0. All the way nearly to the wall. And now Adrian Gonzalez will come up. He's the DH today for the Padres. And that's ripped down the line. A base hit. And Nevin's going to score from second. And the Padres get on the board with an RBI double. Back-to-back doubles for San Diego as Gonzalez is on second base with an RBI. That makes it a 3-1 ball game. Gracie's back. Say hi, Gracie. Dave Winfield, the right fielder. It's up high, but in the strike zone. Strike 1, 0-1. She gave a thumbs up. Counts 0-1 to Winfield. Nobody out. Runner on second. Winfield took a big cut. 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch. Winfield pops it up. Out into right field. Rap Dixon under it. Makes the play for the out. Quickly throws it back in. Finally, one out for the Padres here in the top of the 5th. Marlins lead at 3-1. And now Jackson Merrill, the center fielder, will come up. Haven't seen Grando today. He may be working. Not everybody gets MLK Day off. Inside, 1-0. It's one of those federal holidays that's kind of like optional for some business. 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-1. Banks are closed today. Post offices are closed today. Here's the 1-1. Big swing and a miss, 1-2. Government offices are closed today. One-two pitch. Outside, 2-2. The 2-2. Big swing and a miss. Struck him out for out number 2. 2 down for the Padres here in the top of the 5th.
The shortstop, Fernando Tatis.
We go to the top of the order for San Diego. Fernando Tatis will come up, the shortstop, to face Jose Fernandez. 2 outs, runner on second. Merrill's at second base. He fouls it off, and the count's 0-1. Tatis, a pretty good shortstop. He's a good player. Oh, 1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. The count goes to 0-2. Oh, 2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And that'll end the inning. After 4.5, Adrian Gonzalez, an RBI double, gets the Padres on the board, but the Marlins still lead it 3-1. NLDS Game 2 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Joe Robbie Stadium, Miami, Florida. Game 2, Padres Marlins. Padres lead the best of 5, 1-0. Marlins lead the game 3-1. Rap Dixon, the right fielder, will lead things off for the Marlins. Outside 1-0. Excuse me. MLB on MLK Day. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Up high, ball 2. Count goes to 2-0. And now the 2-0 pitch. And that's ripped into left field, and Nevin doesn't even have to move.
Now batting.
1 down for the Marlins. Edgar Renteria, the third baseman, comes up. 1 out, bases empty. Pitch by PB, outside, 1-0. One 0 pitch. Fouls it off, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, bases empty. The pitch to Renteria. Rips it foul down the third base line. The count goes to 1-2. One-two pitch. Outside, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2. Fouled off. Count remains at 2-2. Two-two pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 2-2. Jimmy Jam with Evil Dead here with you on this Martin Luther King Day. Great to have you along. Here's the 2-2.
3-2.
Outside, full count now to Renteria. And now the pitch by Peavy, full count. And that's ripped foul down the third base line. Count remains at 3-2. Three-two pitch. Up high, it's a walk. A 1 out walk for Renteria. So the Marlins with 1 out with a runner on first. And first baseman John Beckwith will come up. They throw to first. Renteria back in time. The Marlins need to go back to these uniforms. They look sharp. Here's the pitch. In their first strike, 0-1. Musgrove and Hamilton warming up in the bullpen for the Padres. Meanwhile, the count is 0-1 to Beckwith. 0-1 pitch. Beckwith fouls it down the first base line. 0-2. Oh-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Struck him out for out number 2. 2 down for the Marlins here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Nice pitch by Peavy. Mows him down. Next up, Heavy Johnson. He's the catcher for the Marlins. 2 outs, runner on first.
Nope.
Up high, 1-0.
1 ball, no strike.
And now the 1-0 pitch. Well hit into right field. Winfield goes back and makes the play for the final out. At the end of 5 complete, the Marlins lead the Padres 3-1. Game 2 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports.
Leading off for the Padres,
All right, we go to the top of the 6th.
Benito.
The third baseman, Benito Santiago, will lead things off for the Padres. Jose Fernandez on the mound. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1.
1 strike.
Yeah, I liked it better when they were the Florida Marlins. In these uniforms, I like them a lot better. Here's the 0-1. And that's going to be a base hit for Santiago into the left field corner. Harris tracks it down. And he keeps him with a single. The leadoff single for Santiago.
Salvador. Oh.
First baseman Sadahara O will come up next for the Padres. He started the season with the Giants, who was traded mid-season to the Padres.
1-0.
Outside, and the count's 1-0. Nobody out, runner on first base for the Padres. O represents the tying run here in the top of the 6th. The pitch, a ground ball, base hit. Back-to-back singles. Easterling will throw it in. And now the Padres with runners at first and second with nobody out.
Number 7.
San Diego trying to battle back. You know what's hard to believe? As great a city as San Diego is, this is their only professional team. A base hit into right field. Dixon tracks it down, and that's going to score a run. As Santiago comes around and scores an RBI single. It's now 3-2 in favor of the Marlins. I didn't even get to tell you who that was. That was George Scales with the base hit and an RBI. And now Luke Easter comes up, the catcher. Big swing and a miss. Strike 1. So now there's nobody out for the Padres still here in the top of the 6th. They have runners at first and third. Padres poised to tie it up and even take the lead here. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss. Strike 2. Padres mounting a comeback. Here's the 0-2. Inside, 1-2. Alfonseca and Puck warming up with the bullpen. Still nobody out. The count's 1-2 to Luke Easter. Broken bat. And everybody's safe as Ramirez can't make a play.
The batter, number 23.
And we're tied at 3. Are they going to call that a base hit or an error? I think they're going to call that a base hit. And we've seen the last of Fernandez as the Padres have battled back to tie it up at 3. Please don't bring in Puck. He sucks.
Now pitching for the Marlins,
Yuri Perez will come in. I don't like Puck. He can't pitch. Perez will come on. The new pitcher for the Marlins. But the Padres have tied it up, and there's still nobody out here in the top of the sixth with runners at first and second. Phil Nevin, the left fielder, the first pitch is in there for a strike. 0-1. We're now tied at 3 here in the top of the sixth. Oh, 1 pitch. Fouled it off. Count quickly, 0-2 to Nevin. Oh, 2 pitch. Swung at a bad pitch and struck him out. That's big because now the Marlins can end the inning with a double play. Umpire cam. I like that, umpire cam. That's cool. 1 down for the Padres now. Here in the top of the sixth with runners at first and second. Adrian Gonzalez comes up. Gonzalez, the DH today. Takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. 0-1 pitch by Perez. Inside, 1-1. We're at Joe Robbie Stadium, which later became Hard Rock Stadium. This is how the stadium looked before the renovation. Here's the 1-1. Inside, 2-1. Perez on the left, Gonzalez on the right. Counts 2-1 with 1 out, runners at first and second. 2-1 pitch. Ripped it right to Beckwith. They're going to get 1, and they get 2. And that'll end the inning. However, the Padres tied up at 3. NLDS Game 2 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Center fielder Howard Easterling will lead things off for the Marlins in a tie ball game. Jake Peavy still on the mound for the Padres. Here's the pitch. Easterling right to the third baseman, Benito Santiago, who makes the play for the out. 1 down. There's a quick out. And now Vic Harris comes up, the left fielder. 1 out, bases empty. Here's the pitch. Up high, 1-0. Bell and Clement warming up with the bullpen for the Padres. And now the 1-0 pitch. A ground ball. Scales can't get to it. A base hit. A 1-out single for Vic Harris. And the Marlins get a runner aboard here in the bottom of the 6th inning in a tie ball game. And now Piper Davis comes up. He's the second baseman. 1 out, runner on first. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. We have a dachshund, and she's spoiled. She's sitting in the sun in the window. Counts up 1-0 to Davis. Fouled off down the first base line. Count goes to 1-1. She's watching the cats. They don't want her bone. Here's the 1-1. Davis fouls it off, 1-2. 1 out, runner on first. We're tied at 3 here in the bottom of the 6th. The 1-2 to Davis. He fouls it off again. Stays alive with a 1-2 count. One-two pitch. Davis down the first base line, out of play, and the count remains at 1-2. We're in the bottom of the 6th, Game 2 of the National League Division Series. We're tied at 3. One out for the Marlins with a runner on first. The 1-2 pitch to Davis. Fouls it off. Count remains at 1-2. One-two pitch. Outside, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. They throw to first, and Harris back in time. And now the 2-2 to Davis. Up high, full count, 3-2. Chisholm on deck. I think Chisholm's playing center field today, and Easterling is the DH. And now the 3-2 pitch. And that's down the line, but foul. Davis stays alive at the plate with a 3-2 count. Three-two pitch. Fouls it off again. They say the hardest thing to do in sports is to hit a baseball. I believe them. They make it easy, but it is hard. 3-2. Out into center field. Making the play is Merrill for out number 2, and the runners hold.
The batter, number 2, designated hitter.
You know, it's a game based on failure. They've said that before. If you're hitting 300, that means you hit it 3 out of 10 times. Jazz Chisholm Jr., the center fielder, comes up. A pitch out, but Harris does not take the bait. I mean, I played baseball in high school. It is hard to hit a baseball. A 1-0 pitch, outside, 2-0. Yep. I think I finished with a 264 average. I was a second baseman. 2-0 pitch. In their first strike, 2-1. Two-one pitch. Now on the line. The count goes to 2-2. 2 outs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A runner on first. The 2-2 pitch. Up high, and he struck him out. And that'll end the inning. After 6 complete, we're tied at 3 here in Game 2 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. Leading off the top of the 7th for the Padres, Dave Winfield, the right fielder. If the Padres can come back and win, they'll take a 2-0 lead in this series. Yuri Perez still on the mound. Winfield, the base hit out to right center field, all the way to the wall. That's going to be extra bases. Easterling playing center field. He'll throw it in. It's a leadoff double for Dave Winfield. And the Padres have a runner in scoring position now with nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Jackson Merrill, the center fielder, comes up. In there for a strike, 0-1. Padres trying to take the lead for the first time in this game. We're tied at 3, runner on second, nobody out. Oh, 1 pitch. Fouls it off. And now the 0-2. Inside, 1-2. One-two pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 1-2 to Jackson Merrill here in the top of the 7th. Marlins Padres tied at 3. Nobody out, runner on second. The 1-2 pitch. Pops it up. Who wants to make the play? It looks like the shortstop Ramirez will for the out. One down for the Padres here in the top of the 7th. Hanley Ramirez making the play for the Marlins. Shortstop Fernando Tatis will come up next with one out. Runner on second base, that's Dave Winfield at second to face Perez. Here's the pitch. Swung at a bad pitch. Strike one, 0-1.
One strike.
Chasing pitches. Oh, 1 pitch. Swung at another bad pitch. 0-2. That one was high. And now the 0-2. And that's fouled off down the first base line. 0-2 to Tatis. We're tied at 3 here at the top of the 7th. Game 2 of the NLDS. 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Stays alive with an 0-2 count. Pitch by Perez. In the dirt, 1-2. Winfield stays at second base. The 1-2 pitch. In the dirt again. Winfield will stay at second. And the count now goes to 2-2 on Tatis. 2-2 pitch. Swung and struck him out for out number 2. 2 down for the Padres here in the top of the 7th. Perez just blew that one by him. And now the third baseman, Benito Santiago, will come up for the Padres. 2 outs, runner on second. That's Winfield at second. The pitch by Perez. It's in there for a strike, about knee high. The count goes to 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch. Fouls it off quickly. 0-2 to Santiago. And now the 0-2. Fouls it off. Count remains at 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on second. 0-2 pitch. Inside, 1-2. It's also down low. One-two pitch. Swung and struck him out. At the end of 6.5, we remain tied at 3. National League Division Series Game 2 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the Marlins half of the 7th. Keith Bell will come in to pitch for the Padres. Peavy is done for the day. We're tied at 3 in the bottom of the 7th. Hanley Ramirez, the shortstop, will lead things off for the Marlins in a tie ball game. The pitch by Bell. Inside, 1-0.
1-0.
In the 1-0 pitch. In their first strike, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out, nobody on. Here's the pitch. In their first strike, 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Low and outside. 2-2 now to Ramirez. We're tied at 3 here in the bottom of the 7th. 2-2 pitch. Up high. 3-2. Full count. Marlins would love a leadoff walk. Up high. Ball 4. It's a leadoff walk. Ramirez is aboard. And now Rap Dixon, the right fielder, will come up for the Marlins. 2 singles today and a run scored. He's having a pretty good day. Nobody out, runner on first. Here's the pitch. Down low, ball 1, 1-0.
1 ball, no strike.
The 1-0 pitch. And that's sharply hit, and Winfield makes the play in right. So Dixon flies out to right, 1 down for the Marlins here in the bottom of the 7th. As Winfield tracked it down. Edgar Renteria, the third baseman, up next. 1 out, runner on first. The pitch by Bell. In there for a strike, 0-1. One out, runner on first. 0-1 the count to Renteria. The pitch by Bell. Down low, 1-1. Marlins try to get a run this inning to retake the lead. The 1-1 pitch. A base hit, yes, into right field. And going for third, and they get him out. Oh, he got greedy. Ramirez got greedy, and they threw him out at third. It'll be a base hit. Winfield, nice throw. And a great play by Santiago to make the tag. Oh, he's out. That's definitely out. 2 down for the Marlins now with a runner on first. First baseman John Beckwith comes up. Outside, 1-0. Sometimes it's good to be aggressive, sometimes it's not. Counts 1-0 to Beckwith. They throw to first, and Renteria is back in time. Take your time, Misty. We're still tired. We could have extra innings.
1 ball, 1
Next
strike.
pitch in there for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Fouls it off down the first base line. Count goes to 1-2. But wait. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on first. 1-2 pitch. Beckwith fouls it off. And the count remains at 1-2. One-two pitch. Struck him out looking. At the end of 7 complete. We're tied at 3. NLDS Game 2 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 8th. First baseman Sadahara O will lead things off for the Padres. Yuri Perez still on the mound for the Marlins. Here's the pitch. Outside, 1-0. We're tied at 3 here in the top of the 8th. If the Padres win, they take a 2-0 lead in the series. If the Marlins win, they tie the series up at 1 game apiece. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Inside, 2-0. Alfonseca and Gregg warming up in the bullpen. The count's 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Strike 1. Count goes to 2-1. Two-one pitch. Down low, 3-1. Padres would love to return to San Diego with a 2-0 lead in this best of 5. Here's the 3-1. And that's hit sharply. Oh, off the second baseman, Davis. Piper Davis couldn't make the play. They'll probably charge that to him.
Now batting, number 7.
Is that an error? I don't see an official score yet. That's probably going to be an error. And the Padres, with a runner on first, with nobody out, they throw to first, not in time. George Scales, the second baseman, up. Nobody out, runner on first. Here's the pitch. Outside, 1-0. They called that a base hit. If it was an error, we would have seen something. They would have posted it. The count's 1-0 to Scales. The 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2-0. Padres trying to take the lead here in the 8th. 2-0 pitch. High in the air, out to right field. And it's gone. It's a home run.
The batter, number 9.
Just over the wall. That kind of fooled everybody. No, it's a ground rule double, not a home run. My bad. I took my eyes off the screen for a split second. Not a home run, a ground rule double. And now there's runners at second and third with nobody out. Luke Easter comes up. He fouls it off 0-1. I took my eyes off the screen for a split second. I missed it bouncing over the wall. Counts 0-1 to Easter with runners at second and third. A ground ball. They'll get the lead runner for the out. And that will hold the runner at third base. So Easter grounds out to second, making the play for the Marlins, Piper Davis. One down for the Padres now here in the top of the 8th. They still have runners at second and third. Phil Nevin, the left fielder, comes up. A base hit would score maybe 2. The pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. A strikeout here would be huge. Counts 0-1 to Nevin. Padres trying to take the lead. They have runners at second and third with just one out. Fouls it off. Counts 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch by Perez. Outside, and he struck him out. That's a huge strikeout. Now the Padres need a base hit to score. 2 down with runners at second and third. We're live from Joe Robbie Stadium, Miami, Florida. Intentional walk to Gonzalez. Adrian Gonzalez, the DH. He's awarded first base. I don't think Winfield's any better. They want to force out at any plate is what they want. Winfield, the right fielder, comes up. We know he can hit a ton. Here's the pitch. Up high. Now a walk will score a run. You don't want that. Joe Robbie Stadium, Miami, Florida, is where we are. The count's 1-0 to Winfield. The pitch. Fouled off. Count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, bases loaded. A 1-1 to Winfield. Winfield fouls it off. It's 1-2. A home run here would break open this game for the Padres. And now the 1-2. He struck him out. They get out of a jam at the end of 7.5. We're still tied at 3. NLDS Game 2 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the Marlins half of the 8th. Matt Clement will come on to pitch for the Padres. We're still tied at 3. Marlins would love to get a run here so they don't have to bat in the bottom of the 9th unless they have to. Catcher Heavy Johnson comes up to face Clement. Big swing and a miss, strike 1. We could have extra innings the way this one's going. Bottom of the 8th, nobody out, nobody on. The count's 0-1 to Johnson. The 0-1 pitch. Up high, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Up high, 2-1. Two balls and a strike to Heavy Johnson. 2-1 pitch. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. A leadoff single for the Marlins here in the bottom of the 8th. Marlins trying to tie the series up at 1 game apiece. A leadoff single for the catcher, Heavy Johnson. Next up for the Marlins, the center fielder, Howard Easterling, facing Matt Clement. And that's going to be a double play. No, he's safe. Santiago fielded the ball at third base, tried to get the double play. Easterling is safe at first. They get the lead runner, though, Johnson. So 1 down for the Marlins here in the bottom of the 8th with a runner on first. Up next, Vic Harris, the left fielder. Outside, 1-0. This one's looking more and more like extra innings, maybe. We're tied at 3 here in the bottom of the 8th. 1-0 pitch. Fouled it off. Count goes to 1-1. One pitch. Down low, 2-1. Two-one pitch to Harris. Swung on an inside pitch. That'll even the count at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, runner on first. Harris at the plate. 2-2 pitch. In the dirt. Full count now, 3-2. Full count at 3-2. The pitch by Harris. Struck him out looking. He's not happy about that. 2 down for the Marlins. Let's watch this pitch again. That looked like a good pitch to me. That was a strike. And now Piper Davis, the second baseman, comes up with 2 outs and a runner on first. Pitch is outside. Count goes to 1-0. We're tied at 3 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The 1-0 pitch. There goes the runner. Safe. Easterling with a stolen base. And now a base hit would probably score him from second. Easterling had a great jump. The count to Davis is now 2-0 with 2 outs. A base hit scores a run, pretty much. That's a strike on the outside corner. Count goes to 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Easterling at second base. 2-1 pitch. And that's going to be a base hit. Easterling will come around and score. And the Marlins take a 4-3 lead. Piper Davis with an RBI single for the Marlins. That's what the Marlins wanted. A go-ahead run in the 8th. And now the DH, Jazz Chisholm Jr. will come up with 2 outs on runner on first.
That's low.
Down low, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. Chisholm back in the box. It counts out 1-0. 1-0 pitch. There goes the runner, and he's saved. Piper Davis still second. And now the Marlins have another runner in scoring position with 2 outs. That counts 1-1 to Chisholm. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. And now the 1-1. In there for a strike, knee high. Crowd didn't like that. 1-2. I didn't like that either. I think it was low. And now the 1-2. Swung, and that'll end the inning. However, the Marlins, Piper Davis, an RBI single, and it gives the Marlins a 4-3 lead as we go to the 9th inning here at Jammin' Sports.
Now pitching for the Marlins.
Bob Nen will come in to pitch for the Marlins here in the 9th. Marlins are 3 outs away from tying the series up at 1 game apiece. They lead 4-3. Jackson Merrill, the center fielder, will lead things off for the Padres.
Jackson Merrill.
The pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. Padres need 1 to tie, 2 to take the lead. Counts 0-1 to Merrill. 0-1 pitch. Inside, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out, nobody on. Here's the 1-1. He rips it foul, 1-2. Marlins trying to tie the series up. 1-2 pitch. Popped it up, out of play. Count remains at 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Inside. It's now 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Fouled it off. Count remains at 2-2 to Jackson Merrill. The 2-2 pitch by Ned. Fouls it off. Count remains at 2-2. We're at the top of the 9th. Marlins up 4-3. 2-2 pitch.
3-2.
Up high, 3-2. We got a full count. And now the 3-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 3-2. Good battle going on here. The 3-2 swung and struck him out. 1 down for the Padres in the top of the 9th. Marlins 2 outs away from tying the series up.
Fernando Tatis Jr.
And now Fernando Tatis Jr. will come up, the shortstop. 1 out, bases empty. The pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. Nen trying to retire the side and get the win for the Marlins. They lead at 4-3. Here's the pitch. Outside. Count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, bases empty. And that's hit right to Renteria, and he makes the play for the 2nd out. Way to stay with it. And now the Padres are down to their final out. Benito Santiago, the third baseman, comes up. Marlins 1 out away. The pitch in their first strike, 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch. Strike 2. Big swing. Padres down to the last strike here in game 2. Nen trying to put it away. 0-2 pitch. Swung and he struck out. The Marlins have tied the series at 1 game apiece. Your final score, the Marlins 4, the Padres 3. This best of 5 series is tied at 1 game apiece. Once again, your final score, the Marlins 4, the Padres 3. We'll be back at 7 o'clock Eastern for NFL action with the Rams and the Saints. We'll see you then.